So, I did just want to address this before we really get started here. So, I know the topic of this video is, or can potentially be, very sensitive and very painful for some people, and that's totally understandable, totally understandable. And I just want to say, it's not my intention to mock or belittle the plight of others. Never, 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 especially not with something like this. My intention is only to make a video that will relax, distract, and entertain. Hopefully. But I also understand if this was not a topic that would allow someone to do that. So if you need to click off, I totally understand. And it's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry. Just know that I mean no harm. I only want to help you relax, even if it's only for a little bit. So with that being said, I guess we'll kind of get into it, kind of get into it. So with all that being said, in today's video, I thought it would be fun, interesting, and potentially educational if we kind of sit together and take a test. Now I know that tests are not usually relaxing, not at all, but this one will be, I promise. So, and if you get an answer wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you're not intelligent, it doesn't mean that you're less valid, okay? It just means that you're still learning. And everyone is still learning, so we will take a look at some of the questions that are included on the US Citizenship Test. So I myself am a US citizen. I was born here, so I never had to take this test before. So I think it'll be interesting kind of actually take a look at it, because I never have before. And hey, maybe I'll learn something new, who knows. And while we're doing this, I'll also just sprinkle in some, tapping, scratching, all kinds of stuff like that. To be totally honest with you guys, what I wanted to do was to kind of write red, white, and blue triggers. I kind of compliment this video, but I was just looking through my stuff, and apparently I do not have a lot of red, white, and blue items, so, but I will still share with you what I was able to find. I mean, the main focus of the video is just gonna be going through our little test. I should tell you now that everybody has already passed, so don't worry about that, okay? But without further ado, I think that we can get started. just not really enough to do an assortment, but I'll have them going on in the background for you. And the answer is the Constitution. The U.S. Constitution. And question 2 builds off of question 1, and that is asking, what does the Constitution do? And not to lead you, but there are 3 separate answers here, so you just have to name one, but there are 3 separate answers. Alright, do you have one? So, what the Constitution does for this test sets up the government, defines the government, and protects basic rights of Americans, or protects Americans' basic rights. Question number 3. The idea of self-governance is in the first three words of the Constitution. What are these words? I bet if you've watched Hamilton, you probably already know. Actually, I would actually say if you've watched Hamilton, you probably know quite a few of these. No joke. So the first 3 words that we are looking for would be we, the people. Question 4. What is an amendment? 2 separate answers for that one. 2 separate answers. Now, an amendment is either a change or an addition to the Constitution. And don't ask me how many amendments there are. I only know the first. I guess the first 14 I'm aware of. 15, I guess. But, yeah. Oh, look at that. So, next question is, what do we call the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? What do we call the first 10? So, it's not 1, it's not 2, it's not 3. Things. No, it is 10. So what do we call those? That would be the Bill of Rights. Just a bill. Only a bill. Sitting on the stairs of Congress. Okay. Next question. What is just one right or freedom from the Bill of Rights? I had to pause for a moment and just put on my mic's Ushanka for this next part. But yes, so the answer to this one, and there are multiple, so again, you just need one, would either be speech, religion, assembly, press, and petition the government. Question 7. How many, oh look, I'm gonna learn something new today. I'm gonna learn something new right now. How many amendments answer to that one would be 27. 27 amendments. If I had to make a guess, and I mean that was before I knew the answer, of course, but my guess would have been 24. 24. But now I know it is 27. 20. Put on some of my middle fingers for this next part. As you can probably tell, it was like really stretching to find things in red, white, and blue, but always work. Always work with what you got. So, question number 8 for our test is, what did the Declaration of Independence do? So according to this test, it did 3 things. So you can name all of them. That's great, but if not, one will suffice. So what did the Declaration of Independence do? It announced our independence from Great Britain, declared our independence from Great Britain and said the United States is free from Great Britain. Is it just me, or does it feel like they just used the same answer 3 times? What are two rights in the Declaration of Independence? There are 3 answers, but we just need 2. So those are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You probably at least knew the last one because of that Will Smith movie from back in the day. That's how I knew it. What is... Sorry, I got a bit of an itch right there. Sorry about that. What is freedom of religion? What is freedom of religion? That's a good question. But just so you know, it's a very short answer for this test, I should say. So don't overthink it too much, okay? Don't overthink it too much. So, freedom of religion means you can practice any religion or not practice a religion at all if you choose. I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory. Hopefully that's an easy one. You're taking the test. What is the economic system in the United States? What is the economic system in the United States? And the answer, so there are actually 2 separate answers. You could have either said it is a capitalist economy, or a market economy. So either of those answers would have been correct. I wonder if you guys are keeping track of the ones you got right. I am. I am 10 for 11 right now. And if your score is higher or lower, that is okay too. You could just rewatch the video and then you'll get them all right. Next question. What is the rule of law? The rule of law in the United States. There are 4 different answers you can give for this. So just keep that in mind. So, what is the rule of law? Everyone must follow the law. Leaders must obey the law. Government must obey the law. No one is above the law. And if you're Judge Dredd, you are the law. I don't think they ask Judge Dredd questions until section 27. I don't know, we'll get there tonight. Hopefully that's out tonight. Alright, so our mic is now hatless. And switch over to a different trigger. At least it has, well, it has blue and then it has pink, which is a mix of red and white, so hopefully that counts. But our next section is going to be system of government. And question 13. Name one, just one branch of government. So they are listing six here. I apologize, I scrolled down a little bit before I could stop, but yeah. So they named 6, 3 of them, I would say 3 of them are more well known than the others, and 3 are more entities, I guess, like individual entities is how I would describe it. Hopefully that helps. But name one branch is all we need. One branch will do just about. So, the branches of government are Congress, the legislative branch, the president, the executive branch, the courts, and the judicial system, or judicial branch, I mean. Those are the 6, and as long as you just get one, you're just fine. And if you didn't get any, you're just fine. Okay. Now, next question. Question 14. What stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful. Something that stops one branch of government from becoming too powerful. There are two separate answers here that work together. So that's a really good one. Okay, so the answers that they have listed here are checks and balances, so the system of checks and balances, and the separation of powers, which is what we saw in the previous question. Separation of powers. Question 15. Who is in charge of the executive branch? The executive branch. That would be the president. El Presidente would be that one. And who makes federal laws? Who makes federal laws? And I should say for that one there are 3 separate answers, so I'll just accept one. Just one would be just fine. So, who makes federal laws? That would be the Congress. Senate and House of Representatives, and U.S. or national legislature. So that would be the 3 that make federal laws. Federal laws. And so for question 17, you can really see how these kind of build on each other. And they kind of spoil the answers for you sometimes. So, what are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? What are the 2 parts of the U.S. Congress? 2. So they are asking for 2 here, so just make sure you get 2. That would be the Senate and the House of Representatives. Now, do we know how many U.S. senators there are? Do we know how many U.S. senators there are? There are 100. There are 100 U.S. senators. So I just counted all of them, so don't worry. And for each of those 100 senators, how many years do they serve? How many years do they serve? How many? That would be 6. That would not be 1, not 2, not 3, 5, 6 years. And this one, name one of your state's U.S. senators currently. Just for privacy's sake, I will US senators are not always the most popular people. So maybe we'll just kind of skip over that one. Now this is one I used to struggle with when I was a kid, when I took Introduction to Government. The House of Representatives has how many voting members? How many? That got a red one. So there are 435 voting members in the House of Representatives. Yeah, I forget why that number in particular was so confusing to me when I was taking this in school, but yeah, that was definitely one I got wrong on my final. So it's nice to have the refresher. Always nice to have the refresher. Here's another one we might skip, but 23 is name your U.S. representative. Be based on where you're at and in the interest of privacy. I will once again abscond from answering that question. But you can name one of your U.S. representatives. That's good. And if you can't, that's okay. That's okay. Oh, and I missed a question. So we elect a U.S. representative for how many years? How many years are our U.S. representatives? So think of a U.S. representative right now. That would be for 2 years. Now, who does a U.S. senator represent? Going back to senators present. And that would be all the people in their state is who they represent. And back to representatives, they're kind of jumping around here. Why do some states have more representatives than others? And that's not a joke, that's just the actual question. But they have three reasons why, so you can just name one. That's just fine. One of 3. I just realized that these balls are also the colors for our 2 major parties. And we just happen to be talking about the Congress, so kind of good on me. But anyway, so states have different numbers of representatives because of the state's population, because they have more people, or because some states have more people. So I just realized that because this is a verbal test, that's why they're including multiple answers. I was thinking when we started that, they were just taking multiple answers that weren't necessarily the same thing, but now I'm realizing, yeah. See, we're all learning something new today. We're all learning something new today. So, we elect a president for how many years? So, we know we elect the U.S. representative for 2 years, we elect the senator for 6. So, what is the term for the President of the United States? What is the term for the President? And that would be 4, so that would be 4 years. Hopefully that doesn't age poorly. Okay, that's gonna be my only joke, just one. That's gonna be my only joke, okay? In what month do we vote for president? So, which month of the year? And that would be November. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. Like, I just heard like this rhythmic banging from the other side of my wall, but it stopped. So anyway, what is the name of both the sitting president currently and the vice president sitting currently? So, do you know? They both have a lot of different names, don't they? They both have a lot of different names. And not all of them are that nice, actually. But, we know. I'll go just a little bit quicker with these next couple since they're only one answer. There's only one answer to all of them. If the president can no longer serve, who becomes president? And that would be the VP. The VP become president. And if both the president and the vice president can no longer serve, who then becomes president? Maybe that one's a little bit So that would be the Speaker of the House. So he is, or she. So they would be third in command. So who is the commander-in-chief of the military? Who is that? That would be the president. Who signs bills to become laws? That would be the president as well. And who vetoes bills? That is also the president. Next we have the president's cabinet. And the question is, what does the president's cabinet do? What is their role? Their role is to advise the president. And now, for this next question, I just need two cabinet level positions. So you can think of just 2 cabinet level positions that you can So there is the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Defense, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Homeland Security, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of here's once again, what does the judicial branch of the government do? What does the judicial branch of the government do? What is it that they do? What is it that they do? And there are four main things that they do, but if you could just name one, I think that would be justified. Justified to name one. So the four things that they do is they review the laws, they explain the laws, they resolve disputes or disagreements, and decide if a law goes against the Constitution. And the highest court in the United States is what? What would it be? What would it be? That would be the Supreme Court. Supreme Court. And how many justices are on the Supreme Court? How many justices are on the Supreme Court? Who is the Chief Justice of the United States? Okay, so I literally have to pause the video and look that up because it won't tell me on this sheet, but the answer to that is there are nine justices, and the Chief Justice right now is John Roberts. So if you're like me and did not know that, now you know. Under our Constitution, some people belong to the federal government. What is one power of the federal government? One power of the federal government. And while you're thinking about that, I will give you a little bit more tapping here on one of the only red items that I own, apparently. So, one power of the federal government. There are four, but you could just answer one. So, the federal government prints money, declares war, creates an army, or is able to create an army, I should say. And they also make treaties. And under our Constitution, some powers belong to the states. Just one will do. So, they are able to provide schooling and education, provide protection, provide safety, give a driver's license, and approve zoning and land use. So these are again specific to where you live. So I'll just read them to you and you can answer on your own. So who is the governor of your state now? What is the capital of your state? Sorry, I literally had to stop the video so I could sneeze. I got a lot of distractions tonight. Anyway, what is the capital of your state? So those two are going to be dependent on where you are. What are the two major political parties in the United States? That would be the Democrats, or I should say Democratic, and Republicans. What is the political party of the president now? That's my answer. It is. What is the name of the Speaker of the House of Representatives? Speaker. That would be Mike. Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson. Yeah. Okay. Now we are moving on to the next section here, and that is rights and responsibilities. Rights and responsibilities. So while we do that, a little bit of moisturizing for you guys, just in case my hands so dry. So there are 4 amendments to the Constitution about who can vote. Describe one of them. Describe just one of them. Citizens 18 and older. No poll tax. There should not be a poll tax. You don't need to pay to vote. Any citizen can vote. That includes women and men. A male citizen of any race can vote. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? Just one. We just need one of the responsibilities here, okay? Just one. There are 2 listed, but we just need one. So that would be to serve on a jury and vote in a federal election. 2 very important things. 2 very important things. Name one right only for United States citizens. One right that is only for United States citizens. There are 2, but you just need one. Those would be to vote in a federal election and to run for federal office. So, what are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? And there are 6. 6, but we only need 2. We only need to name 2. What are those? That would be freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom to petition the government, freedom of religion, and the right to bear arms. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance? That would be the United States and the flag. What is one promise you make when you become a U.S. citizen? A promise you have to make when you become a U.S. citizen. What would that be? What would one of those things be? You must give up loyalty to other countries. You must defend the Constitution and laws of the United States. Obey the laws of the United States. Serve in the U.S. military if needed. Serve. Do important work for the nation if needed. How old do you have to be to vote for the president? How old? You gotta be 18. 18 years old. And what are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? Besides voting, I guess. So there are a couple of things you can do. You can vote. You can join a political party. You can help with a campaign. Join a civil group. Join a community group. Give an elected official your opinion on an issue. Call senators and representatives. Publicly support or oppose an issue or policy. Run for office. Write to a newspaper. All things that you can do to participate. What, or I should say when, is the last day you can send in federal income tax forms? I know that one, it's April 15th. You know I know that one. When must all men register for selective service? That can either be 2 ways or 2 answers here. You can either do it right at 18 or up to the age of 26. Yeah. So now we're moving into the interesting part. This is going to be American history. So there definitely might be a few things on here that I do not remember. So 58. What is one reason colonists came to America? So this is the colonial period, pre-independence. So what was one of the reasons that colonists came to America in the first place? So obviously a couple of answers here. We just need one. So there was freedom, political liberty, religious freedom, which kind of falls into freedom, economic opportunity, the right or the freedom to practice their religion, and the escape from persecution. And who lived in America before the Europeans arrived? That's right, that would be the Native Americans. Native Americans are the ones here before us. What group of people was taken to America and sold as slaves? And that would be people from Africa. This section is not as fun. Or I guess this section is not as, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess I don't know the word I'm looking for. All I'm going to say is history is messy. History is messy. I guess I was hoping that they were gonna lead up a little bit for this. Oh well. Gotta acknowledge that history is messy, right? Gotta acknowledge it. Gotta respect that. Why did the colonists fight the British? This sounds like another setup to a joke. But colonists wanted to fight the British for a couple reasons. Just one is fine. British Army stayed in their houses, because they did not have self-government. They did not have self-government. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Who actually wrote it down? That would be Thomas Jefferson. That would be W. Diggs. W. Diggs is the answer to that question. And when was the Declaration of Independence adopted? So, when was the Declaration of Independence adopted? Sorry, I just gotta reach here. I'm just gonna get my fingers back on while you think about that. So, the Declaration of Independence was adopted on July 4th of 1776. That's why we celebrate independence on July. Oh boy. Uh-oh. We're going into some elementary school territory here. So, there are 13 original states, and you have to name 3. I'm literally gonna try and think. So, okay. Alright, I think I have 3. But 2 of them are kind of a cheat. 2 of them are kind of a cheat cop-out. But we have New Hampshire. We have Massachusetts. We have Rhode Island, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia. I knew New York, New Jersey, and Delaware, and also North Carolina and South Carolina. Those were, but I wasn't 100% sure on some of those. So those are the ones I remembered. What happened at the Constitutional Convention? What happened at the Constitutional Convention? The Founding Fathers wrote the Constitution at the Constitutional Convention. And when was the Constitution written? When was the Constitution written? Just need the year. Just need the year for this one. Is all we need is the year. That would be 1787. 1787. This next question I know because of Hamilton, the musical. The Federalist Papers supported the passage of the U.S. Constitution. Name one of the writers. Well, I guess I kind of spoiled it for you. I'm sorry about that. But just name one of the 4 writers. There are 4, so name just one. There was James Madison. There was John Jay. There was Publius, which sounds kind of gross. And then there was Alexander Hamilton. He wrote like he was running out of time. What is one thing Benjamin Franklin is famous for? What is one thing that Benjamin Franklin is famous for? There are 5 things that they have listed here. So a U.S. diplomat. He was the oldest member of the Constitutional Convention. He was the first Postmaster General of the United States. Writer of Poor Richard's Almanac. And he started the first free libraries. And they don't list it here, but he also appeared on an episode of The Office and hit on Pam Beesly. They forgot that one. And who is the father of our country? Or I guess I should say, like, who is considered the father of our country? That would be Chris Jackson, yes. That would be Chris Jackson. No, again, I'll stop with the Hamilton references. I'll try. We're getting into the 1800s now, so hopefully there won't be too many more, but that would have been George Washington. So, 1800s. What territory did the United States buy from France in 1803? Bought from France and became one of our states. That one would be Louisiana. That one would be Louisiana. What was one war fought by the United States in the 1800s? We just need one. So I list 4 here. We just need one. There was the War of 1812. There was the Mexican-American War. There was the Civil War and the Spanish-American Wars. Those were the 4 And what was the name of the war between the North and the South? North and the South. What was the name of the war between the North and the South? That would be the Civil War. And the alternate answer for that is also the war between the states. I feel like even if somebody didn't know the answer, they could just say that. I don't know. So what was one problem that led to the Civil War? And there are 3 listed. There are 3 listed, so we just need to get one. Just need one. So, the problems that led to the Civil War were slavery, economic, and states' rights. So there were 3 major problems that led to the Civil War. 3 major problems that led to the Civil War. And what is one important thing that Abraham Lincoln did? What is one thing that Daniel Day-Lewis did? I promise I'm just joking around. Anyway, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. He saved and preserved the Union. And he also led the United States during the Civil War. Such a crazy time. Such a crazy time. But he did well. He did well. And what did the Emancipation Proclamation do? What did it do? The thing that it did was free people being kept as slaves. They were freed in the Confederacy. They were freed in the Confederate States and most of the Southern states. Not all, most. Now we're going to move on to our next historical figure here. What did Susan B. Anthony do? What did Susan B. Anthony do? So, Susan B. Anthony fought for civil rights as well as women's rights. And we're very grateful that she did. Very grateful that she did. Alright. So, this next section is recent American history. And I might need to jump around this section because, I mean, we'll see. I haven't read this section yet, but we might have to jump around just a little bit, so I do apologize for that. But I do just want to try to keep this video as light as I can. And that can get difficult when we talk about history, especially recent history, so do forgive me for that. But like I said, I just want to keep it relaxed for you guys, So, name one war fought by the United States in the 1900s. We just need one. There are 5 listed here, but we just need one. So there is World War I, also known as the Great War. There is World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Persian Gulf War. So those are the 5 that were involved in. And who was president? Who was president during World War I? That would be Woodrow Wilson, or Woody. And who was the president during the Great Depression and World War II? Maybe my favorite president. I'm not sure though, but let's say maybe my favorite president. That would be FDR or Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And who did the United States fight in World War II? Who did the U.S. fight in World War II? Apologies. I just kind of, if you're watching, if you're just listening, that's okay too, but I did just kind of pull this debut into the frame without explanation, but again, this is another blue item I wanted to try and incorporate, so we're staying on theme. So just a brief explanation for that, but while I was rambling, hopefully you got the answer to the question, which is Japan, Germany, and Italy. All places I would like to visit. Before he was president, Eisenhower was a general. What war was he in? What war was he in? That would be World War II. What movement tried to end racial discrimination? That would be the Civil Rights Movement. And what did Martin Luther King Jr. do? What kind of the same note? What did Martin Luther King Jr. do? He fought for civil rights and worked for equality for all Americans. What? Now this is an interesting question. So, name one Native American tribe in the United States. Name one. There's so many. So, there would be the Cherokee, the Navajo, the Sioux, the Chippewa, the Choctaw, the Pueblo, the Apache, Iroquois, Creek, Seminole, Cheyenne, Merrimack, Shawnee, Huron, Oneida, Lakota, Crow, Teton, Hopi, and Inuit. Inuit are the tribes that they have. We're moving on to geography, so that section wasn't too bad, luckily. So, geography, the bane of my existence, but we're gonna try anyway. So, name one of the two longest rivers in the United States. Just one. I mentioned two, but we just need one. There is. Oh, and look at that. They both start with M. There is the Missouri River. And there is the Mississippi. The Mississippi River. What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? What ocean is on the west coast of the United States? That would be the Pacific. And what ocean is on the east coast of the United States? What ocean is on the east coast? That is the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is on the east coast. Alright. Name one. Just one. U.S. territory. Just one U.S. territory. There are five. There is Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, American Samoa, Northern Mariana Islands, and Guam. And kind of in the same vein, name, or I guess they're not in the same vein at all. I don't know why I said that, but name one state that borders Canada. Name one state that borders Canada. So we have Maine, we have New Hampshire, Vermont, New York, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, Washington, and Alaska. Now this one is in the same vein as the last one, so name one state that borders Mexico. We have California, Arizona, New Mexico. That one was probably an easy one, right? And Texas. Texas, Steve, Texas. What is the capital? What is the capital of the United States? The capital of the United States. That is Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. And where is the Statue of Liberty? Where is the Statue of Liberty? A couple of different answers are accepted for this one. But we have New York Harbor, Liberty Island. You could also say New Jersey, near New York City, and on the Hudson River. So you have a couple of options there. So believe it or not, we are actually at the last couple of questions. So look at that. We made it through the whole thing. Almost. We made it almost through the whole thing. So that's very, very, very good. So next section is going to be symbols. So why does the flag have 13 stripes on it? 13 stripes. That is because there were 13 original colonies, and these stripes represent those colonies. Why does the flag have 50 stars? The reason for that is, oh, sorry guys, the reason for that is that each star on the flag represents one state. Each star represents a state, and there are 50. Because there are 50 states. What is the name two other national holidays. This kind of reminds me of an earlier question. This feels like a repeat almost. Oh well. Either way, can you think of two other national U.S. holidays that we celebrate? There's New Year's Day. There's Martin Luther King Jr. Day, MLK Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day.